Things have become very confusing, haven't they? Especially in this housing market. You're wondering where you're going to go now because interest rates are up. It's still getting hard to buy a house, and a lot of people are sitting on the fence. Sellers, you know that your house is sitting on the market for longer and you fear that it will never be sold. Well, stand by and let's go over the 6 things you should know about the housing market today. If we haven't met before, my name is Hudson. I'm a real estate agent here in the Las Vegas area, and every day, good folks like yourself reach out with their housing needs, whether it's to buy a home, sell a house, or invest in real estate. Yes, it may still be a good time to invest in real estate. If you need any help, all of my information is below. Reach out and we'll get back to you as fast as we can to get your questions answered. Also, if you haven't subscribed, if by the end of this video you feel that you've received a little bit of value, please hit that subscribe button. So let's start going over these 6 things and see how you can benefit from them if you can. So number 1, well, interest rates will continue to climb. Even though over the last weeks rates have come down a little bit, the Fed is planning to raise interest rates even more because inflation is out of control. It's now up to 9.1%. It may hit 10%, and the government wants to get this under control. And one of the ways they do this is by making money more expensive to borrow. So we're no longer in an era where we have free money and you're going to have to pay for it now. Now, we're not at historically high interest rates, but we are at high interest rates over the last more than decade or so, and it is making it more difficult. One of the things you want to do is, while the interest rates have declined just a little bit, is possibly lock in your interest rate. Remember, you're marrying the house but dating the interest rate. At some point in the future, you can change that interest rate by refinancing. So if it does go down, good, you can refinance. If it goes up, good, you have it at a lower interest rate. That is the beauty of it. And even if you don't want to date this interest rate right now, you do have options. Talk to your lender about an adjustable rate mortgage. Adjustable rate mortgages will have a lower interest rate to start with, and they're on a fixed term, like 5 or 7 years before they adjust. Well, most people are out of their house within 7 years. So you can easily date this adjustable interest rate. And if a fixed rate becomes better in the future, you can refinance. That is great for you again. So you get to choose what happens. The only thing that may happen, and I have to be very honest with you up front, is what happens if interest rates go up even higher. You get a 4.5% adjustable interest rate, and by the time your 5 or 7 years is up, interest rates are back to 7.5% or something, then you may have a little bit of an issue. But for the here and now, you do have that interest rate. Now, even with that interest rate, you have to consider what's happening in the housing market. I'm sure you've noticed that the housing market has dramatically cooled. It's like it hit a wall, and it seems to be regional. I know some people in California are saying the market's still hot, while other people in California, just a county away, literally, are saying that it cooled down. And let's be honest, here in Vegas, it hit a wall. Florida, it's cooled down. Ohio, it's still hot. Some places on the East Coast, still hot, but nationwide, it's going to catch up. And fundamentally, we are in a seller's market, fundamentally, in theory.
I agree with you in theory. In theory, communism works. In theory.
So what I wanted to just get out to you is the housing market is cooling. If you're a seller, don't expect your house to sell in one day anymore, and don't expect 60 offers and you're going to sell it for 50,000 over. Those days are gone. Let's just be over. Those days are gone. If you're a buyer, I know a lot of you are sitting on the fence right now, hoping that the prices are going to come down. Well, who knows if that's going to happen. What's really happening right now, a lot of the price reductions are people lowering their price to where they should be, not below that. So if you're looking at the median listed price, it is still above the median sales price. All the price reductions that you have seen have been people who were overzealous, believing that they could get so much, and because their neighbors got so much, they wanted even more. So their greed got to them. Well, they're now coming back down to the prices of the last sale. But this is great for you as a buyer because you get to go into a house. You have more choice now. The thing that you've been begging for 2 years, and you don't have to come out of any money out of pocket. And the best part is, according to a lender friend of mine, 50% of sellers now are giving concessions. A concession, we know what that means, closing cost. Sellers, be prepared to pay those closing costs. It's not 2 or 3 months ago where you can get away with this. The money that you're going to get, yes, your neighbors got you that money when they got 50,000 over. You're not going to get more plus 50,000. I hate to rain on that parade. That is over with. But we are in a new housing market where we're going more into a balance in which everyone is more equal. Now, even though the housing market is cooling, housing prices are still expected to go up. Still. But not at the rates we've seen over the last 2 years. So it's going to go up at a more normal rate from this point on. Again, I've said it 2 million times. Sellers, you're going to expect normal appreciation off of a vastly appreciated asset, which means no matter what, you're ahead, especially if you bought 2 years ago. Buyers, you're now back into a buyer's market that is better than it has been in years. So this is an opportunity for both sides to be more equal. So the sellers who are going to become buyers, who are move down buyers, move up buyers, leaving town, going someplace else, those fears that you had that you were going to become homeless are no longer a reality. You now have the same market you had a few years ago where you don't have to worry about becoming homeless, and you can get into the house of your dreams while selling your house at a vastly inflated price based on what it was 2 years ago. So in a way, everyone kind of wins, although the buyers are going to pay a couple of $100,000 more than they did 2 years ago and pay higher interest rates than 2 years ago. But everyone is on a more equal playing field now. Next, you have to remember we are in an era of increasing inventory. There's no nice way to put it. Inventory here in the Las Vegas area has tripled in the last couple of months, while the number of buyers is about 70% of where it was before. Now, before you go, aha, no, that puts us at about 3 months of inventory or so. So that is still a seller's market. Much weaker seller's market than it was 3 months ago or 3 years ago even, where we never peaked at 3 months of inventory. It is still a slight seller's market. So with it being a slight seller's market, prices will continue to either slide to the side or go up. We don't know which one it's going to do, but at this point, unless the recession takes a hold and it gets really bad, don't expect prices to go down. So those of you who are expecting that 20% drop so you can buy, you're going to be like the people who've been sitting on the fence the last 3 years saying they know that the price is going to drop and they're now $250,000 in the hole. Well, they're not in the hole. They could have had $250,000 in appreciation, but they sat on the fence saying, I know that the prices are about to drop any day now. I've heard that for 3-4 years. Even if they were to drop 20%, even if you had bought to the day's appreciation and the price dropped 20%, you'd still be more than 6 figures ahead. So this is where we are right now, and let's see where we're going. Now, inventory is rising. So you're going like, okay, great. I have more to look at. That is true. For the sellers, you have less people out there competing for your house, which means, of course, I've said it over and over, you're not going to get 20,000 over anymore. But here's what is happening. Institutional buyers may price out the first-time home buyer. That first-time home buyer who needs a lot of aid, who hasn't saved up much money, those institutional buyers, aka cash buyers and cash buyers moving from other areas, aka California, well, they're still going to keep pricing you out. First time home buyer, you need to really get in there figure what programs are available. And right now, I was looking at this the other day for a client, and a lot of programs are on hold right now for first-time home buyers. So you need to see what you still have left. There are programs like Chenoa and some still from Home at Last and Home as Possible. See what those offer. If you want, look at my last live stream. I spoke with the lender and went over some of these programs. In reality, this is the future. So in the future, I will be going over them, but in the past on this video. And we're going to be going over some of these programs to help folks out. So that is the next step. And also the next step is I have a whole bunch of other videos for you to watch. I go over all of this stuff about buying and selling homes in the Las Vegas area, living in Las Vegas and everything else, and nationally. So go ahead, do a favor, click one of these other videos. And also, again, if I've provided even the smallest amount of value to you today and that subscribe button is red, I would appreciate you clicking it, becoming a subscriber, and helping me out.